Are you ready?
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Jeff, aka GCurse here. If you saw the thumbnail of the video you are that you clicked on or clipped, I meant to say clicked on, then you already know what this video is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at 0 hour. That's right. The wait is over, and the Phil Burnell, the DSPGaming, and the documentary to end all documentaries has finally been released to the public, and I thought I'd give you my thoughts. Now, since this documentary, it's over 3 hours, if I remember correctly, I actually broke it into several parts because I have work tomorrow. As of recording, it is currently 4:13 p.m. on the 2nd of September. It's Labor Day. I had to do another video earlier today, so I didn't really have much time to do this. Anyway, so I decided to break this documentary down into like 4 parts. Each part is about an hour long, with the final one being like 40 minutes, I think it is. So basically, this react is going to be kind of a long-ranging project. I'm going to cover part 1, which is the first hour of the documentary. So let me very quickly, let's see here. Do I have a display capture? I don't see a display capture on this. So on this profile. So let me just see real quickly here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pause this real quick. Okay, so I put up a display capture. So basically, it looks like for it's going to be about an hour that this video that we're going to watch. So basically, it looks like it's going to take us into the Project 7 chapter of this long-ranging arc that we know as Phil Burnell. So yeah, so we're gonna be learning a lot about a lot of his earlier stuff. It looks like video number 2, which part 2, which covers another hour, will take us into the beginning, well, probably the continued downfall. Video number 3, which covers hour number 3, will take us roughly into from the IRS to the IRS till about the financial tracking, and then video number 4 is everything at the very end. So basically, video number 1 covers the distant past, I guess you could say. Video number 2 covers the earlier past. Video number 3 covers recently, and then video number 4 is like right now, basically. So, but yeah, so that is it, ladies and gentlemen. As always, if you like what you're watching, do me a favor, click on that subscribe, click on the like and the bell. This is something that we've all been waiting for. I have never really followed Phil Burnell when it came to his the fighting community, or whatever you want to call it. I didn't really follow that. I started following Phil when I first saw him back in like 2007, 2008-ish, whatever it was, on YouTube. That's when I first came across him. So I knew nothing about the fighting community. For reference, I did see this already. I was actually watching the documentary as I was getting the assets ready for my Black Site Files from Unsolved Mysteries file video that I like to produce. So I already saw the documentary, so this is going to be nothing new to me since I already saw it. But I'm just saying, though, the biggest things I did not know about Phil was during that fighting community. So everything, say, from Panda Lee onward, is stuff I pretty much, well, maybe the Cooking with the King. But anyway, so yeah. But anyway, let's switch over. Let's turn this off. Hold on. Uh-oh. Okay, there. Sorry, I had something playing in the background. I know you didn't see it. Okay. Okay, there's that. And there's this. Let's turn on the video. Video, where's the, maybe. Okay, so 3, 2, 1.
Darksydephil is a game creator and former fighting game aficionado that has existed.
To call him an aficionado is kind of a stretch in my opinion. Now, I'm going to go on record and say I do not like the guy. I do not appreciate what Phil Burnell has done to people. I do not appreciate how he treated his parents. I do not appreciate how he treats his friends. Now, I'll be honest, I am a recluse. But the one thing I am is the few friends that I do have, I'm fucking loyal to. I'm loyal to. You ride with me, I'll die with you. That's kind of like how I am with my friends. So to see how Phil Burnell has treated his friends and his family, that really just angers me, because 99% of all my family is dead now. I have some uncles, a couple aunts, and that's about it. And my father, I forgot my father. My father is alive up north, but like everybody in the area where I live, they're all dead. They're gone. So, but yeah, just to see him treat people poorly is what really upsets me a lot. Also, along with the tax evasion and all the other shit.
Existed in the online realm for over 2 decades. He has participated in the inception of Let's Plays, but has hardly evolved alongside them. Where most creators benefit from their window of fame, Phil, through insane spending habits,
he is living as a child on. Yeah, this was way back then. But compare this, this was like early 2000s, statues and all that shit. Compare that to today, it's basically the same thing. The only difference is we went from statues and other shit to WWE champions. Now, Phil likes to say, that's not me. That's on me. We know it's you, Phil. Stop fucking lying. Stop lying. You may be able to pull that shit with the viewers that you've been able to brainwash. You're not pulling that shit with me. Down from the rafters is Phil Burnell. By the way, who the fuck is that one lady in the background? The statue. Holy shit.
Has almost nothing to show for it. It was only in 2020 that he filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, where the documents revealed his situation being even more insane than previously thought, due to his off-putting nature in that he will belittle his audience members while simultaneously petitioning them for donations.
I need the money to pay bills, and I need the money to do regular day-to-day shit.
Lie about his finances.
And that's what that right there is why I say that the viewers have the right. I don't want to say the viewers. Let's say the people who fund him. The people who fund him have the right to have oversight. I've never seen a business that there is never any oversight. Hell, in the job field where I work in education, there's oversight. There is somebody always fucking watching what I do. I don't know why Phil believes that because he's a Let's Player or a streamer or whatever the fucking correct term is, that he believes that there's no oversight. Wrong, motherfucker. Wrong. The fact that you ask for money, that means you should have even more oversight, because you are literally saying, give me money for food, give me money for a home, give me money for my pet cat Jasper, give me money for my wife. The people have the right to see where that money's going. And the whole fact is, well, you don't need to know where it's going. Doesn't fucking fly, dude. It doesn't fucking fly.
And inaccurately portray criticisms against him, he has few allies left. Content creators, large, small, new, and old, avoid him due to this and the unique community of trolls that follow him. Varying widely in intentions and actions, these trolls share the commonality of hating Phil and archiving his fumbles to great lengths.
Now, I'm one of the type of detractors, I guess you could call, that I do not endorse any sort of activities that could get you put in jail. Phil Burnell is not worthy of you going to jail for. If you wanna post a meme, that's fine. That's fine. If you want to post a joke, that's fine. If you feel the need to give this guy money to try to get him upset, which I'm like, why the fuck would you want to do that? That's your right, you know. You could waste your money on other stuff like a hooker, for example. But I just don't understand the people that want to give him money. Anyway, do the stuff that will not get you in trouble. Swatting, hacking, although that fucking Comcast incident I thought was funny as hell, I still don't endorse it because he is not worthy of you going to jail for. Do you know like what the sentence is for people who get caught hacking or ID theft? It's not a light sentence, ladies and gentlemen. This motherfucker is not worth you going to Sing Sing for.
Alpha was the medium. This could go any way, though the Japanese had the perceived advantage. That's why Valla's victory in the first match intensified the competition. As the match rules were best 2 out of 3, Valla had to win one more match to be crowned world champion, and so Valla continued his aggressive strategy and tried to put pressure on Daigo. Daigo, however, began adapting and started finding openings, anticipating Valla's attacks. Adaptation was never as important as it was here in the finals. Both sides were exposed to strategies they had never been exposed to within their local competitive scenes. With the advantage on Daigo's court, he won the second match. At this point, the outcome was hardly predictable, as both sides were solidifying their strategies.
I'll be honest, this shit fascinates me. I'm not that hand-eye coordinated gifted to do this shit. But I love watching this, just the thought of people just fighting it out like this. This is fucking amazing, yeah.
Daigo had won and become the world champion of the fighting game community, projecting Japan's strength and their competitors as fierce. It was historical moments such as these that emboldened new players to join the competitive environment that had only seen growth. Realistically, the only way one could compete is to join their local arcade scene, if they offered a competitive environment at all. While online play was non-existent, the internet did tend to the community by allowing a quick, cheap, accessible way to promote local or grand-scale events. One of these involved an 18-year-old Phil Burnell, initially entering the
Wait, hold on. Let's go back. Hold on.
events. One of these involved an 18-year-old.
Wow, look at that piece of shit. Look at that piece of shit, ladies and gentlemen. Who would have thought that piece of shit, gawky-looking motherfucker, who would have thought that he's been able to successfully con numerous, addle-minded youth out of hundreds of thousands of dollars? Who would have fucking thought? I would look at this guy and think that he wouldn't even get past fucking Subway. But no, somehow this guy was the school valedictorian. And if that's the case, and how fucking, how bad were those test scores or whatever, that this guy was the top of the class? What a fucking joke.
Phil Burnell. Initially entering the all-night space with the alias Wo Moses, he adapted other, short-lived nicknames such as Phil, Throw Like Hell Burnell, labeled as such for his strategy of using the throw move in Marvel vs. Capcom competitions that was viewed as unbalanced. Quote, everybody said that my victory was so quote-unquote cheap, and that I had no skill, unquote. Regardless, Phil was performing well in his local gaming scene.
Well, that's not really much of a lie. The guy has no skill. I'm sorry. But even watching him in Street Fighter, the guy's fucking lucky. He's lucky. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. And this is coming from somebody who doesn't even play the goddamn game. I can see Phil and I'm like, yeah, the guy's basically lucky. He's looking his way through. He's falling upwards, in other words.
Acceptable in these communities than they would be in others. And he did have that one thing that made him memorable, his aggression. Quote, I see it every day in my town. These little fucking wimps who call themselves quote-unquote thugs and pretend they're quote-unquote tough mofos. Well, if I ever get into a fight with one of them, hand-to-hand, I guarantee you I'll be the one standing afterwards. And if they pull a gun on me, I hope they have pretty good aim, because if they don't hit me with the first shot, I'll have already punctured the windpipe and ended their life. Unquote.
Yeah, I press X to doubt, ladies and gentlemen. Press X to doubt. I should really get like a graphic with like a big X or something. Yeah, just actually, hold on. I'm gonna do that. I'll be right back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So whenever I fucking see something in this goddamn documentary that Phil says that I know is a fucking joke, I'm gonna throw up the big X right here. We got X to gout, ladies and gentlemen. X to gout. X. Nah. Phil, you're not a fucking tough shit. If Phil cannot face anybody literally right now, if he has to hide in his piss-soaked hiding hole in his gated community, You think he's actually tough enough to punch somebody in the fucking windpipe? The answer is no, he's not. So X to gout. Fucking stop trying to rep, Phil. You ain't tough shit. Okay, let's continue on. Hold on, I gotta turn this down a little bit. It keeps pinging out a little bit. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think that'll have to be good. Okay, let's continue on. But yeah, so now we got. I'm just gonna throw this motherfucker up whenever I hear something that he says. Oh, I'm gonna punch you in the wind. No, you're fucking not. Hide. That's what your defining trait is, Phil. Hiding is your defining trait.
This was in response to the general aggression Phil received when utilizing his infamous throw tactics. While Phil's response teeters from excessive to entirely unrealistic, it does expose the way he viewed himself as a macho, hardened, threatening
It's the way
individual, and that's why he chose his new name, Darkside.
It's the way he still views himself. He views himself as the cat's meow, which I find to be a fucking joke, because he views himself to be so hot to the ladies, yet he's only had 2 people, and both people he's manipulated. Real tough man you are, Phil.
In this developing space. Darkside, as he was calling himself, was set on practicing and playing the newly released Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Though his palette was diverse, this is what his sights were set on. But there was an unforeseen issue. The game, released in February 2000, meant that it was untested and would not be at the East Coast Championship. Phil's solution was to make a tourney of his own at Motel 6 with a $5 entry fee.
Motel 6.
The results are unknown. What is that Phil was ingraining himself in his local community, and that he just graduated high school as the valedictorian. A valedictorian is the highest ranking student of a school's graduating class.
And as I said, if he was the top ranking guy, how fucking stupid was the rest of the class?
The bestowment of such a title opened doors of opportunity. Ivy League colleges
Nepotism,
were in his
ladies and
purview,
gentlemen.
but he wasn't in theirs.
Yale rejected me, Harvard rejected me. There were 3 of them. I can't even remember what the 3rd one was, but every Ivy League school that I applied to said, no. When you want to know why they rejected me, it's this simple. Because I'm a white male.
Where there is Phil Burnell, there are bound to be inconsistencies and lies. Here he states that it was because he was not racially diverse enough as a reason for not getting in, then later flips the excuse.
Just off of that premise, it wasn't my extracurriculars, it wasn't my academics, it was based off the fact that I wasn't a rich white person.
Another reason Phil provides for not getting in is that he signed up for financial aid, which he claims triggered an immediate rejection from the Ivy League schools. Whatever the case, his future had more potential than most. Throughout it all, he was still going to local tournaments. Here he recounts how the entrance for a local tournament doubled from 16 to 32 in just a year. He won this tournament, and with that, he is losing his potential. To make it big in this flourishing environment, practicing the game would have to encompass his life for nearly the next decade. And to finance the traveling, he took out various credit cards as his job selling yogurt did not provide enough income.
Yogurt!
Well, you go to Evo
yogurt!
2K4, Fighting Game Championship.
700 players from all.
Okay, guys, just remember, if Phil is shit talking you, just remember, you could be worse. You could have been Phil Burnell slinging yogurt. Oh my god, what a fucking schlub. Valedictorian, all he could get was fucking selling yogurt. Holy shit.
About the flash, you can leave the flash there. Make sure the gameplay is solid. No more stupid additions.
Those were moments from EVO 2004. EVO, or Evolution Championship Series, was becoming the end-all be-all for competitions in the fighting game community. Every year the event grew. It grew rife with competition, controversy, diversity, and of course, increased attendance of darksydephil.
East Coast versus West Coast.
In this particular moment at EVO 2002, the infamous darksydephil was selected as a sort of representative of the East Coast theater.
Oh god, I feel bad for the East Coast guys. I think Wet Mop would have been a better choice for a representative over darksydephil. I think I could have been a better representative. Okay, guys, hold on. Here's your choices. You have a Wet Mop you have darksydephil, and you have a fat guy. Okay, raise your hand for the wet mop. Let's say 25% vote for the wet mop. Okay. Throw your hands up for the fat guy. 75% throws up for the fat guy. And Phil gets literally nothing. That would have been fucking hilarious. As you can see here, nobody wanted him. Nobody wanted him. They would have gone with a dead rat. They would have gone with a dead rat ass that represented over darksydephil. Okay, let's continue.
Commentary from the people recording demonstrated how welcome he was.
Phil, you are not East Coast, please.
As
Get
much
the
as
fuck
Phil
outta here,
noted his
bitch.
ability, when it came to Evo, the player base was at an entirely different level than he was used to. Losses here were common, and people did not take kindly to his hostility online where he would physically threaten his opposition.
I was the guy who always talked shit. I was the guy who always was like, man, don't get in my face at a tournament. I will fuck you up. I will throw you in a trash can. I will, I used to do.
Okay,
A different story.
Okay, do I believe that he actually said that? Yeah, I do. But do I actually think he has the balls? No, I'm throwing up the card. No, X to gout. Phil does not have the balls to carry through. His mouth is writing checks that his ass cannot cash, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, online, he would freaking, run his flap and post a lot and respond to everything, but when you see him at the tournaments, he just sits there, he's not doing nothing.
That was Jaha, one of the more hot-headed players that was not afraid.
The way I can imagine it, it's like Phil's talking shit. Phil is talking mad shit about everybody. He goes to this tournament. He thinks that nobody is going to show up, that he shit talks. And then these people show up, and all he can fucking do is sit there like a little bitch. That's all he can do. And look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at him. Hell, I'm not saying I'm muscular. I'm not. I'm a fat fuck. But I'm looking at that. Yeah, I'm not going to fucking shit talk that. No way am I going to shit talk that.
Of confrontation.
He was talking a bunch of shit against like the top Marvel players. So Shady K was one of them, and Shady K didn't like him too much because he would like run his mouth so much. I mean, this guy would make posts that were like a mile long. When DSP was leaving with like him and a couple of his boys, that's when it was time to like roll up on him. We followed them outside, and we caught him outside, and they were getting up in like, DSP's fucking friends' faces too, just to fucking make sure none of them got crazy, but they were all fucking shitting bricks. He just turned fucking white, and it's funny because he just like talks so much shit on the internet, but when you run into him in fucking person, he's just fucking, turns white as a ghost.
DSP was able to diffuse the situation by paying Shady K, Jaha's friend, $10. They arrived to that amount from a money match that was meant to go 10 rounds for a total of $100. But
he paid $10 to get the heat off his back. So much for that Mr. Tough, I'll punch you in the windpipe shit. $10. I'll make you a bet that Phil probably never really threw Jaha's name out of his mouth again. I think that's who it was that was confronting. Was it Jaha? Yeah, but Phil is the same way now. He talks exactly the same way. The only difference is he now has that gated community he hides behind. And it's not like he doesn't brag about it. He'll literally be like, well, if anybody comes onto the property, since we're private property, we're a gated community, I can have the cops call, I can have, oh shit, Jeff, blah. I can call the cops and have them come and arrest him. The guy's fucking spineless. The only difference is now instead of just paying people off, like he did, he literally can just talk shit because he has the equivalent of, what's that one kid's name? There's a fucking streamer, I can't recall what his name is right now, but he has like a big bodyguard that fucking literally stand between him and whoever he's taunting. That's who that's who Phil Burnell reminds me of. Instead, but Phil has a fucking gated community. But yeah, he will fucking rub it in. Oh, I live in a gated community. They try anything, I'm gonna have them arrested because I'm so fucking tough. That's how tough I am. What a bitch.
Since it was cut short due to time limitations, and DSP only fought and lost a single match, Jaha and his crew were able to swindle those $10 that DSP had no obligation to pay. But even then, it was cheaper than a trip to the hospital.
Give me the money, bitch.
As for the forums, or the medium DSP would unleash his threats, Shoryuken.com, or SRK for short, is named after a popular move in Street Fighter. DSP continued to expand his character, adding the tagline, "The King of Hate."
And the whole idea behind the King of Hate moniker.
You know, the moniker should have been King of Payout, because he's the king of paying people not to beat the shit out of him, or King of the ATM. You know, because he was just wasting money going to all these fucking tournaments that he was never going to fucking really do good at. Oh, what a bitch.
Moniker was, everyone hates me because I talk so much shit online, but no one can do anything about it because in person I could hold up my end of the shit talk.
Oh, X and gout, X and gout.
Syndrome Phil. Fuck that guy.
Oh yeah.
Now, in 2003, Phil's infamy grew to new heights after he was banned from the SRK forums. Even the smaller competitions he did win would not be received with commemoration, but ire. In addition to the displeasures at his victory was what appears to be Phil advertising his website known as tophaters.com. Further investigation reveals that this website of Phil's creation was a response to topplayers.com, a West Coast-centered Street Fighter website. Looking further into it, this is not just a response to Top Players, but Phil's lashing out at his infamy. There is much to unpack through the multiple pages of this website. On this page alone, he challenges some of the fighting game culture he himself is guilty of. On the main page, he informs readers that he works at Circuit City. On this thread, he is hating on the mechanics of Guilty Gear, a different fighting game. His words and his culture do not resonate within the fighting game community. Even so, he petitioned for financial support, supposedly to run the website,
So he
while
was
also
a
complaining
beggar
about
back
the
then
lack
also,
of users.
ladies and gentlemen.
Despite a clear lack of support, Phil went onward with a new project known as Impact. As tophaters.com was Phil's answers to topplayers.com, Impact was Phil's answer to EVO. And even though Phil continued to attend, he sought to make his own large-scale event. Quote, "It's obvious that Impact is going to compete heavily with EVO," unquote. On the threads created by Phil to promote Impact that included.
But let's look at it right now. Which one is still around? Is Evo around or is Impact still around? Yeah, we know who won that one.
Phil's posts. Even threads discussing how much Phil sucked garnered more attention on his website than Impact. Tophaters.com was a failed project. DSP now espoused to this negativity will not use his character to his benefit. Instead, he used it to attack beloved franchises like Counter-Strike and Warcraft 3. Even then, that was only a distraction from his assaults at fighting game culture. Here, he lambasted what was known in the fighting game community as combo videos. In the early days of the fighting game community, CDs were exchanged in person. These carried videos of various combos or tactics one could utilize, yet the existence of them were also controversial as groups could gatekeep the data. Now, with the internet in play and data shared at a faster pace, tactics and their discovery were virtually immediately adapted and the meta was becoming.
This is basically what he's talking about when he talks about all the pattern flow chart people learning on YouTube. This is exactly what he's talking about. It's just using older language like combo videos and all that shit.
Is of utter importance. Now mid-2004, arcades have long been losing their purpose to the increasingly popular home video game console, and a switch of competitions prioritizing consoles could increase accessibility for players and allow for significantly cheaper and easier to manage components as consoles and their elements could be set up and altered with ease. This transition was controversial only for those brought up in arcade culture and those in competitive gaming communities. When a game, like Street Fighter for example, is ported from the superior hardware of an arcade cabinet to the limited or vastly different video game console, color, resolution, and most importantly mechanics could differ based on the port. And though the technology and quality control had improved, it was still not good enough. It was a jump that would eventually have to be made, but perhaps it was too soon.
Evolution console? This is my worst nightmare, dude. I'm an arcade player. I hear you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if this is the future, we're gonna have to, it's evolving, so we're gonna have to adapt. Alright.
See, that's the one problem Bill was never able to do. He was never able to adapt. And the only time he does try to do anything where that is called that can be labeled as adapting, it only comes at the fact when his money is being threatened. If he adapted back when people were suggesting, "Hey Phil, you may want to get a capture card," can you imagine where he would be now? But no, he had to be a fucking tough ass and basically be stuck in his ways. And look what happened. He paid for it.
Both would receive protest in one way or another.
In 2005, I think it was, the three of you were absent from ST Top 8. What happened that year?
When you play Bison and you hit a fierce flame and it only goes like 20% of the screen, you got a problem with the game. And you got some idiot named DSP who's a total piece of shit, by the way. I like to get that on you.
Well, he's not really lying. He is a piece of shit.
Choi in a game that was like, it's like fucking Neo Geo conversion of Street Fighter or some crap, dude.
Enjoy your 4th place, bro.
First of all, I have to bring this up. Alex Valle did not enter this tournament. He claimed he was busy and he couldn't show up. Bullshit. He was like, oh, I'm protesting Evo because they're not holding Arcade Super Turbo. I don't want to enter or whatever, right? Yet he was still there, but he didn't enter. He did not enter the tournament. I'm going to name some names now, people who I played and beat that day in Super Turbo for the PS1 that you might be like, what the fuck? Jason Wilson, Mike Watson. Pretty sure I played John Choi and I beat him too.
DSP at EVO 2005 surged in the ranks for Street Fighter II Turbo, a feat that was achieved through a superior knowledge of the game.
During that period of time, I learned some major differences about the game, including the fact that some characters were different sizes. They weren't as tall or as short as they were supposed to be, and they had different hitboxes. I found out certain characters did different stun amounts than they did in Arcade Super Turbo. I found out that one of my characters, Vega, was incredibly easy to do these complex combos with, which actually was harder to do in the arcade version of the game.
The beauty of Phil's achievement, and now beating all of his American opponents in EVO 2005, is that he touts his knowledge as a fair advantage. But when he goes up against the Japanese players who also dedicated themselves to the port without protest, he changes his tone.
So now I was in the position, boom, if I win like 1 to 2 more matches, I could win the whole event. And then my final match in the tournament was against Tokido, who picked a mirror. We did a mirror match of Vega. And he knew a few things about Vega that I didn't about the mirror match. And just because he knew those few things, he got the jump on me. And I remember distinctly making 1 to 2 major blunders that people were like, why did he do that? I don't know. You know, I was on the stage, I was playing in front of 1,000 or 2 people, and I was, you know, I fucked up, I admit. He beat me. And so what ended up happening, I got 4th place. The top 3 places were all Japanese players.
DSP had ranked 4 at EVO 2005 for
Fourth
Street Fighter
place,
II
don't cut it,
Turbo,
boy.
and used these statistics to state that he was the top American player. The more he would promote this, the more he'll be scrutinized for the details around his victory. What's more, the details about his life outside of the fighting game community were less savory.
I had to leave that other job, and as I told you, to go to EVO 2005, I had racked
The
up my
yogurt
credit card
job. I
bills
think it's the yogurt
like
job,
sky
right?
high.
Is it the
I owed
yogurt
a
job
ton
or
of credit card debt.
Circuit
With more
City?
debt accrued, Phil moved back in with his parents and was working a job at Best Buy. Here, he was living off the high of his new title. Perhaps unrecognized and unvaluable to the population at large, that was not the case for his local competitive environment that were in awe of Phil's achievement.
One day, my friend Tony, who mostly we were known for playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Capcom vs. SNK 2 together, said, hey, I got a couple buddies who actually like Super Turbo, and obviously that's the game you're really good at. You want to go play with them? And this is the first time I ever met John Rambo. So this is probably between like 2005, 2006, I would guess. When I first met him, I felt like it was almost like a deer in headlights moment, like, oh my God, this is a guy who just came back from EVO and placed.
John Rambo, coincidentally sharing the name of the action movie character, was becoming DSP's best friend. They shared an expansive list of friends as DSP continued to be revealed.
If there is a list of people I feel bad for that, you know, associated with Phil Burnell, one of the people I feel real bad for is John Rambo. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but I'm going to stop recording because I got to stand up, stretch my legs. It's I've been recording for about 34 minutes, so I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to pause this, and then when I return, it'll be right here. So I'm going to stretch my legs, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and I was about to mention why I feel bad for John Rambo, because John Rambo, you could tell that John Rambo, he wanted to be, you know, Phil's friend. And Phil, he fucking used and used and used John Rambo. And I feel bad. To have a friend, a loyal friend, is something you should hold on to. And Phil did not realize that. Phil viewed John Rambo more as a resource. Phil's back is hurt. Have John Rambo drive him around. John Rambo I think he spent, what was it, 1 to 2 hours driving. Didn't he live up near New York or something like that? I can't recall exactly where John Rambo lived. I think he lived north of Phil, and he commuted for a couple hours each way just to go there to play games with Phil, to help Phil with his channel. Yeah. Phil is not a grateful person. He views people as a way of, like, how can I profit from them? What can I get from this person? And when basically they're used up, he tosses them to the side. Look at his parents. Look at John Rambo. Look at Panda. Kat is on her way, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody that has a run-in with Phil, ultimately, he's like a fucking vampire. He will consume what it is that he thinks he can get from you. And then when he's done, when he's done with you, you're gone. Look at how many goddamn supporters he's burned through. As long as you're giving him money, hey, he's cool with that. But the minute you start questioning him, there was a person named Sarah. She was questioning him, and he actually started to question her loyalty to him. Like he acts like, you know, he's the fucking Third Reich or something. Well, you sounded more like a detractor. You should really think about what your loyalties are. He consumes. He doesn't give anything back. I swear to God, this guy is like a fucking vampire.
Or reckless.
For 2006 and 2007, I started traveling the country, playing in all what was considered qualifying tournaments for EVO, which was the big national finale. Think like there's qualifying games in any sport, and then there's the big finals, right? As I started attending all these qualifier tournaments, I was winning them.
This is true, and this is footage of his victory at EVO East 2006.
Okay, in all honesty, yeah, he won in qualifying, but that doesn't count. The big thing is, did he win the main event? Anybody can win a qualifying. Did you win the dance?
As neat as these victories were, traveling across the country when he already secured a high position in EVO meant that he was effectively wasting his money, as having more than one seat was pointless.
Wow, Phil is now seeded to be in the finals at EVO like 7 times. We need to actually take people who he beat and put them into the spots, because we can't have a whole bracket that's just Phil playing.
These victories inflated his ego beyond measure and created an even more aggressive Phil.
First of all, you are fucking hypocrite. Because you have no problem. You have no problem talking about my shit. I'm gonna whoop your fucking ass. Oh, really? You gonna whoop my fucking ass? Oh, I want to see that shit.
Okay. I'm putting up the card. Phil's talking shit again, ladies and gentlemen. Big X to gout. Phil will not back that shit up, ladies and gentlemen. He X to gout. Get that shit out of here. Get him out of here. Oh, Tevin, he used to have a sound clip where somebody's like, get him out of here, or some shit like that. We need that also. We need a sound clip of somebody saying, get him out of here. That, I think the X to gout and get him out of here would be the two biggest things about that I can add to this video.
DSP continued to seek out a physical altercation, and in most cases, it led to nothing. Other times, he miscalculated and threatened someone who could reciprocate threats, reinforced by real experience. Viscount, a veteran of the fighting game community, was lambasted by DSP. Quote, so first Phil was like, okay, well you have to sign some document because if I kill you, I don't want to be responsible. And I was like, whatever. Then there was an actual serious negotiation over who the ref was going to be. And I think we settled on Walter from Connecticut, but I don't remember this part either. Then there was an honest-to-God negotiation over weight and that we were going to have to weigh in and everything. Again, I'm not making any of this up. As dumb as this sounds, this absolutely happened. So one day Phil IMs me on AIM and tries to back out. He was like, hey, so how about this? How about we pretend like we're going to fight, and then when a whole crowd is around us, we both do DX crotch chops to the crowd. It'll be such a goof. This really happened, and I'm just...
Yeah, if it was me, I'd be like, no. You open your fucking mouth. It's time to square up. If I got my ass kicked, I get my ass kicked. But there'd be no way in hell I'm gonna go with that fucking little fruits idea of, oh, let's do a fucking crotch chop. No, motherfucker, you've been talking shit. It's time to fucking put up, or you better fucking shut up. This is literally the whole $10 thing again. The only difference is literally he's trying like, well, I can't give you $10, dude. What I can do is how about we do this where we do crotch chop? That'll be fucking hilarious. No, motherfucker, let's fucking fight. Oh, God. Any way to get out of a fucking fight. Holy shit.
Just like, are you fucking kidding me? I honestly couldn't believe he was pulling this, and I was still mad about the whole thing and actually wanted to fight him. From that point on, there never really was any problem between him and I, unquote. When it came to real fights, backing out was typical of Phil. But when it came to Street Fighter, he was more confident than he'd ever been.
All right, we got the man of all hate, the one and only DSP. I call him Phil, because Phil's cool. Anyhow, Phil, how you feel about ST?
I mean, for years, these same guys are on top. And yes, I'm talking about John Choi, I'm talking about Alex Valle. Playing ST, placing, okay, they're good. But to disrespect the people that got top 8 at Evolution, to make excuses because it's on console, it's ridiculous.
There you go. You heard it from DSP. Straight from DSP. DSP, thank you. Check out the shirt.
Hate this, bitch.
Hate that.
Yeah, if only he was as tough as he was online, you know, like, hey, hate this, bitch. And then somebody confronts him, here's $10. Here's $10. Don't hurt me, bro.
The ST beef with DSP.
I don't even consider it a beef. It's like another scrub, another day.
As chance would have it, they actually did compete at EVO 2006.
First match finally. Oh, on stage, Phil versus Alex Valle. I'm like, oh great. It was a decent match, I lost. And I was like, motherfucker, you know, all this practice, I waited all day, basically it mind fucked me waiting all day to play my match. I finally play Alex Valle and I lose.
Phil, now in the loser's bracket, still had a chance to redeem himself.
I'm just curious. I'm wondering if he was going to claim that Alex Valle was using pattern flow chart shit.
Now this is the guy who beat me in 2005 on stage mirror match with Vega.
The results of Tokido and DSP's first 2 matches played out exactly like they did in EVO 2005. Both players won a single match, and it came down to the last match where the results were also mirrored.
And he won. He knocked me down, and I fucking lost. And I was like, I wanted to rip my fucking shirt off like Hulk Hogan and be like, fuck this shit.
DSP did not even place in the top 8. He was now the former top American player, but if anything, he was still persistent. In 2007, he went at it again, also winning EVO East. Even though, with his victory, DSP qualified to be seated higher at EVO, he still attended EVO West, which was held at Comic-Con.
Honda, come back. Don't get down for Japan. David Sterling, 1 match. DSP, 1 match.
There was an EVO West in San Diego, and fucking DSP was fucking talking shit about Mike Watson, and that's my road dog. When we fucking ran him down in EVO West, you know, we didn't even fucking wait to get outside. Watson just fucking went up to him in the arcade hall and just told him, dude, why the fuck you talking shit, this and that, blah blah blah, and he just didn't even want to face this. Like, he just kept on like cowering away and looking away and just being
Sounds
fucking
about
quiet,
right.
this and
Sounds
that,
about right.
and just fucking scared shitless, and we're fucking following him around, dude. Like, what the fuck's your problem? And you know,
got a
Watson
problem, bitch?
is a forgiving guy, so he just fucking pretty much got to the point where he made him apologize.
I said, you got to do what you got to do. If you feel like you're going to make you feel better to hit me, then go ahead. I get.
Well, that's an invitation, isn't it? Okay, pop him in the nose. Pop him in the nose once or twice. It'll fucking change his attitude. See, that's what the problem fucking is. His parents never put him in line. You can tell from the way he acts that he never really had any sort of discipline when he was younger. I'll make you a fucking bet that if his parents did their fucking jobs, they did their goddamn job when it came to punishing this little shit, he would have been a lot different than he is now. But no, they basically did the whole, the whole passive parenting bullshit. And look what it got them. The one time that the parents actually told him fucking no when it came to that stupid Wolverine toy, he basically insulted them. If I said half the shit that he said about his parents, if I said half the shit to my mom that he said, my mom would have beat the shit out of me. Hey, Jeff, why didn't you get that Wolverine toy? My mom she was fucking stupid. Ow! I'm like, what the fuck? My mom had a fucking sixth sense. She could tell when I was shit talking stuff. If I fucking said anything like that, my head would be spinning before I even knew I was fucking hit. That's the problem with Phil Burnell. His parents never did the goddamn job of punishing that little shit.
I deserve it. And he's like, well, I don't understand then. Why did you say those things? And I was like, dude, I'm an alcoholic. I admitted it to him right there. I was like, I'm an alcoholic. I drink.
Just because you're an alcoholic doesn't mean it's not a fucking excuse. Oh, I'm an alcoholic. Maybe I should go and beat the shit out of Darksydephil. I'm not really an alcoholic. But if I want to go beat out the shit out of Darksydephil, I can because I'm an alcoholic.
The fighting game community.
Do you guys remember the whole thing with DSP and like with the West Coast people where they almost like he was like really scared because he was about to get beat up? I heard he was like crying and everything. So that was pretty funny.
DSP had fulfilled his role as a heel by losing to players who were far more popular than he was.
Where the fuck is he at?
Actual did not even place in the top 8. Even if he won such events, the prize money would do little to counter the credit card debt that he had accrued. His new job was not doing much to help him either.
Bitch.
Then I ended up finally getting a job after the Best Buy debacle at a place called Helicopter Support in.
Okay, now, to those who are unaware, basically, Phil, as much as Phil wants to claim that he got this job because he was a valedictorian, he did not get the job because of that. He got the job because he's a fucking Nepo baby. He got the job there because his daddy was working there. And if you say, well, that's not necessarily, that can't, doesn't necessarily prove he got the job. How the fuck is it that as soon as his dad left, they restructured and shit-canned his ass? No. Phil got the job because he was a fucking Nepo baby. Which is fucking hilarious because doesn't he fucking rage against people who get shit like that? It's a rule for thee, not for me when it comes to Darksydephil, ladies and gentlemen.
Incorporated. This was also in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Actually, I take that back. I think Helicopter Support was just over the Trumbull line.
This is a strange leap from working at Best Buy to working as medium in helicopter parts selection. His degree that he had recently gotten was supposedly in business, so DSP's work experience nor his educational background was related to his current position. The only thing that was his father, who had been working at the company, and it is understood that DSP secured his position due to nepotism.
Oh my god! Phil Burnell was actually given something he didn't actually have to work for? Who the fuck would have thought? Phil Burnell got a job due to daddy. Phil Burnell got a nice house basically because he begged and got a lot of money from people that he begged from. Phil Burnell continues to fucking be a parasite on the internet because he doesn't actually have the balls to work. He begs. Everything in his life he has been given. Phil Burnell lacks a work ethic. Well, he also lacks balls and a spinal cord. The guy's a jellyfish.
There was an additional development that DSP would long cling to. He was now starting a perilous path, ones that machinations would be far more complex than he could ever predict or even understand. Yet he stood directly in the center to witness it all.
So basically, I was very nervous. We went to this Chinese restaurant, and I swear to you, the first fortune that I got, well, my fortune that I got that day said, financial hardship in your life is coming to an end. By the way, when I do record gameplay, I use a digital camera.
So what, you're not going to edit this video? You're just going to post them as is with the 10-minute mark?
Why would I edit? It took 2 days, actually, off of work, just...
Why would I edit? Well, that would be because it's too much like fucking work. It's too much like fucking work. Why put a couple extra hours in making a video look nice? Now, I'm even going to do a little bit of editing when I get to this. It's not going to be much. It's going to be some scene transitions and whatnot. But why put any effort into your product that, you know, that could take a couple hours and which could possibly boost your visibility? Why do that when you could just throw out a fucking 10-minute clip of you snorting and clearing your throat like a fucking disgusting little pig?
To play Batman Arkham Asylum because I knew it was going to be great, and you know what? I don't regret it at all. Even though
I'm the fucking Batman. Ah!
The Darksydephil YouTube channel was created on March 3rd, 2007, but was not utilized until 2008. Phil began by recording some of the fighting game events he would enter. The earliest available video is Midwest Moment for Day 1 setup. The next one is Moment 7, then 13, then 19. Though all these videos range from 13 seconds to 2 minutes and 16 seconds, the jumping of the numerical order means that several videos...
I'm going to pause this and then I'll be right back. There was an explosion. I want to make sure everything is okay, so I will be right back. Okay, everybody, I am back. There was an explosion. I went outside to make sure everything was okay. Don't know where it came from. A neighbor said that it came from a neighboring street. Holy shit, the entire building shook. Anyway, so let me just just cool down for a second because that caught me off guard. Okay, so let's continue, shall we?
Were deleted and various pre-existing videos are lost. This was not the only event he recorded in 2008, and alongside those videos, DSP began recording gameplay of various genres. The quality as such reflected the best his equipment would allow, as he positioned his camera initially on the floor and pointed it towards his television. DSP recorded Star Wars The Force Unleashed,
At least I got all this fucking high-definition ear detail.
Castle Crashers,
It's a bunch of fucking horseshit, to be honest.
and Mercenaries 2.
Another Grand Theft Auto 4 rip-off mission.
While the genres varied, the style of recording, the commentary, and the titling, in that he proclaimed the game sucked, provided some theming in a space that lacked cohesion. YouTube, as it was looked at as a video repository, a place to consume viral videos. Series and the like were virtually non-existent. There was no meta for videos and not much of a reason to make them, considering that a paycheck through content creation was unheard of. In such an uncompetitive and themeless space, Phil's videos excelled. He quickly found out that his gameplay videos did better than his recordings of fighting game events. Then found out that if he recorded proper sequences of walkthroughs of missions and games, the chain of videos garnered even more views, as was demonstrated by his gameplay of Saints Row 2. These were uploaded out of sequence, as Phil relied on a unique method of recording. Instead of recording the entirety of his gameplay in one go that would create a single video file to chop into several parts, Phil subverted the need to edit his videos down below the required 10-minute mark that YouTube had by physically stopping the recording on his camera every couple minutes.
Can you imagine how annoying that would be if you were actually doing something like this? You're getting into a game. You're getting to the best part, and you either have like an alarm off to the side, or you have a camera, or not camera, but like a clock off to the side, and it's 5:30. It's 5. Okay, 5:30. It's been 10 minutes. Stop. You know, like can you imagine how fucking annoying that would become? I don't understand why Phil had to take this whole tough guy loner route when it came to the way he recorded stuff. And the sad thing is, this guy, doesn't he claim I think later on they talk about how he said that he had like a business major. Isn't one of the aspects of a business major able to see future trends and like how things evolve? And now, I'm not saying that capture cards were big when Phil started in 2007, 2008. But when he would watch other people, and don't let the bullshit fool you. He watched other people. He still does. He still does. Even when he claims he's not watching detractors, he's fucking watching detractors. You're telling me that he did not look at the fact that these others, Let's Players, the recording people, the streamers or whatnot. You're telling me that he never saw that they were using capture cards and thought to himself, this is something I may want to start getting in on. It just, to this day, I'm still kind of like, why did you not evolve with that? All the fucking shit he has evolved with over the years, the one weird motherfucking thing, and of course it boils down to money. The one thing that he fucking, instantly adapted to, basically, was the stupid shit, like the fucking the foam panels on the walls. RGB. Do you think anybody is watching a streamer or a content creator simply because they have lights on in the background? No, they're watching to see what kind of content the person's actually creating. For some reason, it took him years to get a fucking capture card. It took him less than a fucking year after he started seeing how RGB is, that he adapted RGB, and now he has a fucking RGB on everything. Hey guys, you see this wall behind me? RGB, bro. I can make the lights blue. I can make the lights green. I can make the lights red. Isn't that so cool? My keyboard doesn't actually light up. My keyboard, red. It can go purple. Ha! The mouse changes colors. But in all seriousness, why the fuck is it that he refuses to change with the times when it came to much needed items, capture card, computer, software? But when it came to stupid fucking shit that nobody's really going to pay attention to, soundproofing, once again, the fucking items in the background, you think anybody gives a flying fuck that he has that fucking stupid digital photo thing behind him? No, nobody fucking cares about that because it looks like shit, to be honest. You think anybody cares that he has that stupid fucking poker chip? No. He evolves quickly when it comes to the stupid shit, and when it actually comes to the stuff to actually help his business, he fucking care less, and he'll drag his fucking knuckles until it actually starts to see a lack of return in the paycheck, basically.
Oh my god, this is bullshit. Ugh. Okay, Saints Row 2, trying to kill the general again.
This naturally created individual files that not only saved him time on the editing process, but the rendering as well. From here, he could upload the files directly. The only additional effort applied left was to name the videos. Though Phil, in late 2008, did commit himself to recording entire playthroughs of games full with his commentary, the sequence was still scrambled and parts were uploaded out of order. But by the time he began his Fallout 3 series, now adopting his role of what would be known as a Let's Player, he was finally correcting these errors and uploading a sequence. Then the issue was not the sequence, but how much he was uploading. If he did a 4-hour recording session, that amounted to 25 videos, and those 25 videos were uploaded from November 28th to November 29th. That was 25 uploads in just 2 days.
Oh
Phil,
my
with
God.
some fluctuation, was spamming his uploads. By December 19th, even with his job in mind, he was up to part 137 of the Fallout Let's Play series. That was only a fraction of his 749 videos.
Holy
this
shit!
means that Phil, at 1,400 subscribers, averaged around 2 subscribers per video. The comments were quite vocal with their exhaustion of the spam. Quote, "Stop spamming videos, they are not that good." Unquote. Some comments seem to just target Phil as a person. Quote, "Fucking you. You are a stupid man. Suck my lick." Unquote.
What?
Phil's commentary was colorful and could prompt these responses.
Oh, look. Blah, blah, blah. You cannot speak any English, you stupid. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, time for a save.
Viewers were not sure if DSP's crudeness was him.
Okay, just remember, guys, when he says he's not a racist, look back to stuff like this, and look back to the fucking whole infamous Dead Space 2 debacle. Yeah, you're not a racist, Phil.
Playing a character, though the Street Fighter community knew it wasn't.
DSP, stop recording. No one gives a shit. Play. You can't hold up a tournament. Where am I playing? You still haven't told me. Jesus Christ.
See, right there, if I was the host of that tournament, and I'm like, "Hey, Phil, you dumb fuck, stop doing your shit. This is not your fucking YouTube channel." The minute that he gave me lip, I'd be like, "Okay, motherfucker, you're disqualified. Put an X next to this guy. He's done for this tournament. Grab somebody who was possibly like who lost a previous match. Put him in a round robin quick tournament to see who gets Phil's position." That's what they should have done.
Via what is known as a capture card, and DSP did indeed spend that money, a lot of it too, on a more expensive yet worse option.
As you know, any donations that you send help me in the cost of games and equipment, especially this brand new HD camera. It cost me a pretty hefty sum, so.
As these suggestions to how he could improve his videos poured in, Phil would go on and pour them out.
This guy just wants to be my friend so he gets deleted. Why don't you use capture card instead of camera? I've already explained this 7,000 fucking times. It's because then I'd have to actually use a professional microphone. I'd have to.
What it basically equates out to is he wanted to make the most money and do the most minimum of effort. Now, a lot of people can say, "Jeff, you do the same thing," and to an extent, I agree. I do agree. I could do a lot more, but the thing is, I don't claim what you see here. I do not claim this as a business. I have a job that I go to. That's why I can pump out 1 video a week if I want to. If I want to pump out 17 videos a week, I could. It's not a fucking job. And if you do notice, considering all the way since my channel's been here since like 2013, I like to think that I am getting a little bit better. I have been slowly evolving, which I can say Phil sadly isn't. But the fact is that Phil, as you can see right here, he is shitting on the person who's giving him simple advice. Phil is the consummate laziest motherfucker I've ever seen. Most money, littlest amount of work possible.
Record the voiceovers, I'd have to actually do video editing on every fucking video that I put up.
Oh my god, you
Considering
actually
I
have
put
to
up
do
like
work?
30 a
Who would have fucking thought?
Unless you want to fucking stay home and do that while I'm at work, I don't think that's going to happen. So shut your fucking face.
That, as would be understood, was DSP's long-winded way of saying it was because he did not want to put forth the effort to learn the technology, making it seem over-complex to an audience that knew very little about video creation. From here on, he will label his videos as HD, inherent from the camera and not the game as people would be actually searching for. It is difficult to say how much DSP was making from these donations, but he was earning something and realized he could be making even more. Not from gameplay, as YouTube was afraid to monetize such content in fear that the copyright strikes from the game companies would doom the platform, but from vlogs, as YouTube recognized it was all original footage. This new channel, once more promoting his new camera's abilities, going as the King of Hate HD, shined a light on DSP's previously private life. There were videos of him making custom controllers with John Rambo and friends, sometimes videos of DSP and friends at a cookout, and sometimes the different competitions he would attend and not perform well in. It was clear that DSP had a vibrant social life. DSP was attending midnight releases, freely interacting with strangers, and now, because his vlogging channel was successfully accepted into the YouTube Partner Program, where he pressed what he assumed to be the advantage.
Hello, what's going on? My name is Phil Brunell, but more commonly known as Darksydephil, or DSP for short on the internet. And in 2010, my channel actually ended up being in the top 30 most viewed comedians of all time on YouTube, and actually had over 100 million total channel views.
Well, if he's a comedian, then that's a fucking joke, because nothing about this guy's actually funny except for the shit that he doesn't want to be funny at. Like, oh, I'm not playing WWE Champions. Yeah, that's a fucking X right there, dude.
Anything serious for me, or any kind of a monetary gain for me.
Combined with the money from his traditional job, he moved out of his parents' house into his own condo that he purchased for $131,000, leaving him to be a host for such events such as a pizza/gameplay party.
Yeah. What better to eat right before a Ninja Turtles playthrough than a delicious, ginormous pizza? So why don't you stop playing Street Fighter 4 and come get pizza so we can play Turtles? John Rambo here, devouring his final slice.
No. Hell, bugger, you fuckers.
As controversial as Phil had become in the real world, and was well on the way in the online space, he was leading a fuller life. He was even experimenting with edited video.
Well, I'm kind of, debating that, literally sitting on your ass playing games, abusing your friends. Is that really, would you really consider that to be a fuller life? Ah, the infamous drunk mission. Okay.
Follow me, Red. Don't attack those fucking rad scorpions, just follow me. What?
What?
Has died. She didn't even get fucking hit. Now she's dead. What the fuck?
As was
Next time,
normal,
don't play
DSP
drunk,
fumbled
dumb
through
fuck.
gameplay, regularly blaming the game for its shortcomings. Alcohol only amplified this.
We may not look it, but every one of us is a trained.
Oh, this is where he zooms through all the options, and then they attack him, and he plays the I didn't do anything, why are they attacking me card.
Hey!
What the fuck you doing?
A viewer may have missed it as Phil did through his rapid selection of the dialogue for the sake of progression. Phil unwittingly chose the option to threaten the NPC.
Why the fuck are they attacking me? I don't get it. Why are they attacking me?
Oh my god, he is so fucking drunk. Hey, wait a minute, Einstein.
There was a grotesque nature to Phil's Let's Plays and a rage that would turn physical.
My Xbox locked up.
Oh my god. Oh, I remember this.
What are you doing it? Standing fucking roundhouse. Ah, shit fucking.
The only person besides Phil that would get this physically aggressive with their equipment is El Presador in the early 2010s. Holy shit, you could literally watch him throw a controller and it would fucking break. Shout out to El Presador, by the way.
They're all fucking doesn't kidding me. Fuck this stupid fucking mission. I'm fucking cooking fucking balls.
A part of a successful creator is willingness to experiment, adapt, and improve. DSP had those elements, except he was so set in his immediate success, he disregarded improvement to increase what worked in excess. By early 2010, his Let's Plays and number of total videos soared. In just a little over a year, he had nearly 7,000 uploads on his main channel, with his total views at a gargantuan 70 million. That means he was averaging 10,000 views a video. And not in the least humble about these statistics. Quote, I've been called fat, ignorant, stupid, scrub, loud, obnoxious, disrespectful, belligerent, inciting troll, asshole, worthless. But I've also been called entertaining by 70 million people. You be the judge. I'll be banned by the time you read this. Unquote. This could be
If only he actually was banned.
further soured Phil's image in the rest of the Street Fighter community.
Look at him now. I mean, he's just 20,000 idiots are subscribed to him. That's great. Congratulations. Congratulations with your YouTube channel, and hope you enjoy your life, bro. I mean, it's a great victory. PlayStation 1 Super Turbo Champion. You take that
Fourth
to your
place!
grave, bro. Good luck.
Don't forget, 4th place!
DSP was making enemies that he had never met. In 2009, he had a small run-in with Rockstar and Take-Two that took down 2 of his videos, as was commonplace, as all of Phil's videos ran the risk of scrutiny by these companies.
However, Take-Two took it upon themselves to actually put a cease and desist order against YouTube, stating that they were not allowed to put up any of my gameplay footage, in particular because I had the cutscenes of the game in my footage.
And then, in 2010, what appeared to be Ubisoft also struck Phil's channel to a severe degree. By April, the strikes continued at such a pace that his main channel, darksydephil, was taken down. After sharing the news, it came out that the strikes were illegitimate and were possibly sent out by a disgruntled viewer. With the strikes resolved and the channel restored, Phil saw it fit to celebrate his channel's resurrection.
Guess who's back, motherfuckers? That's right. That's right. They tried to take me down. They tried to get me off YouTube. They tried to shut me up. Fuck those motherfuckers. The king is back. That's right. As you can see, thank God, my channel, darksydephil, has been restored on YouTube. So, awesome.
This tactic would also become commonplace against Phil.
See, this really shows the level of his ego. It's this whole fucking king thing. I'm not sure what it is. It just annoys the fuck out of me. I know it annoys the fuck out of other people. Phil says, "Oh, I don't have an ego. I'm just like you. I'm a small person." Bullshit. Phil does not actually think he is like the small people. He only says that to try and get sympathy. Phil is what he hates. He is the equivalent of the big name YouTubers. The only difference is he literally burned out. He still has the rep, but not the positivity that actually comes with it. As much as he hates to admit it, he is the PewDiePie. Congratulations, Phil. You became what you hate. You are now PewDiePie.
As a response to the initial takedown, DSP made 2 additional channels, one for Street Fighter that was soon abandoned, and another for gaming going as DSPGaming. This channel, for all intents and purposes, adopted the role of his main channel and will remain as such for the foreseeable future. At the time, as a host to gameplay videos, the channel's true purpose was to bring attention towards his vlogging channel, as that channel was monetized.
What am I going to do? I'm going to whip up a couple of express mode bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, which include 6 pieces of white bread.
This new series, beginning in September of 2010, was going under Poorly Cooking with the King.
Okay, this is one of the few things I have to admit that, I'll be honest, I kind of chuckled at, because of the fact that when my mom passed away, my mom was the type of person that literally did not let anyone in the kitchen. The kitchen was her location. You could go near the kitchen and she had like that spider sense. She would literally look at you and be like, "What are you doing?" And for me, for example, I'd be like, "I'm going to go get me some cereal." She goes, "No, you sit down. I'll go get you some cereal." She did not let anybody in that goddamn kitchen. The kitchen was her domain, Well, sadly, when she passed away, I'll be honest, because I lived with her the whole time. And for several years before she passed away, I was like the one that was supplying everything. She did not. My mother, the one thing I'm proud to say is prior to her passing away, she did not need for anything. She, whatever she wanted, I made sure she got, The downside was with her passing away, my cooking expertise was pretty damn limited. For the first few months, it was a little bit of a struggle. I will not lie, it was a little bit of a struggle. Yeah, I was really kind of relegated to making sandwiches and top ramen because, like I said, because of my mom, she preferred to be the cook. and because of that, nobody would go into the kitchen. I'm sorry about that. Nobody would go into the kitchen. So it really kind of handcuffed me. And I'm going to take another quick break, so I will be right back, and I'll continue on with this when I get right back. Okay, so as I was saying, I was talking about how when my mom passed away, it basically kind of made me have to kind of learn to cook on my own. And so I'm kind of giving Phil, I'm kind of giving him a little bit of a pass when it comes to the poorly cooking with the king. That still drives me nuts. It could have been poorly cooking with DSP. That would have been awesome, yeah. But yeah, so I'm kind of giving him a pass because we all got to start somewhere. Now, I'm pretty sure that he may have had a little bit more experience cooking, so I'm not really going to rag on him that much regarding cooking, at least.
These videos were much more intimate
like said,
than his gaming
I
videos or even vlogs, for
basic.
reasons not known then, but are now.
Back then, I started Cooking with the King as a way to branch out and to have additional content on that channel. I think that that series ran its course to the point where I literally probably cooked every single meal I could possibly make without looking like an idiot or using a cookbook. And the point is, the series was me showing you things that I cook, not me cooking out of a cookbook.
Phil was increasingly monetizing different aspects of his life, and as he stated, poorly cooking with the king were the recipes he knew how to make, meaning this is what Phil made regularly.
So what am I going to make? Today I'm going to make scrambled eggs, and I'm also going to make some sausage. So I'm going to whip together some burgers, the eggs and the cheese. That's pretty much 3 basic.
Okay, so, you know, like I said, I started off pretty basic. I had to slowly grow also to learn to cook. And now, you know, it's taking a while, but I'm cooking hamburgers, I'm cooking steaks and pork chops and all that, so. But like I said, yeah, I'm not really going to rag on him that much, you know.
Those were the following 4 poorly cooking with the king videos. Besides Phil's poor diet that would impact his life in somewhat ironic ways, viewers were exposed to cooking mishaps that were perplexing.
Safest thing to do
Oh,
with
not
baking
down the
greens.
toilet, dude. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Hot fucking potatoes.
Screwing his viewers could look at the clock in the stove frame, the layout of his house, etc. As for the rest of his videos, they were performing well, even if he did have a few hiccups or angry neighbors telling him to shut up along the way. If this was the only trouble DSP received, the rest of 2010 would have gone more smoothly. The key change that destabilized his world was him getting fired from his job.
And what happened in this case, they did a reorg where they took me out of this department where I was doing all this great work, and they put me in a completely different department. The management there didn't give a fuck about me, and after 3 months they laid me off.
Now, with more incentive to...
Okay, let's stop fucking chasing around the whole thing, chasing around the bush. He got released from his job because his daddy left. It isn't that, you know, it wasn't reshuffling. His father left, and he got shit canned. And he didn't want to say that he left because he got shit canned because of the daddy, so he had to make up some other fucking excuse.
Then he began reviewing his own merchandise.
There's a bunch of different designs that you can get.
Then joysticks.
This joystick uses...
Now, if I remember correctly, didn't he get in trouble for using copyrighted artwork? I could have sworn that earlier in his career online that he got in trouble, like for this picture here of the Street Fighter joystick, that he was using copyrighted artwork that he was claiming as his, and that did he get in trouble for trying to sell copyrighted items and whatnot?
All Sanwa parts.
This series had now evolved within the first 21 episodes to a general product review show.
DSP tries it.
This is DSP, and I'm using the new Axe body... That's not it. What the hell's that shit? I'm using the new Axe body detailer. I use the detail inside to watch out. Oh my god! Oh!
For a period, DSP discontinued this series and later stopped posting on the King of Hate HD altogether. DSP's fans were aware that he lost his job, and so a fan contacted Phil and offered to make him his own website, as was customary for various creators that found themselves unsecure in YouTube survivability. And so, by October, thekingofhate.com was up and running. Mainly used as a fan site, this website was fully equipped with forums and not a host of actual videos. Fan input and support was at an all-time high. That's why in November, he made an exorbitant amount of money.
That first month, I made $18,000.
In the first half of December, Phil made another $13,000, though it is unclear if YouTube actually paid it out. Regardless, if what Phil says is true about him making around $200 on average in the prior months, then he was now making 100 times more. This was unsustainable.
Mid-December, I get a message from YouTube. Dear Mr. Burnell.
Okay, see, that's the one. Even though I've been content creating since like 2013, my jaw would drop if I actually got $18,000. My jaw, like, the first thing I would do is as soon as I got that $18,000 after taxes and all that, because I'm pretty sure they're not just going to give you $18,000. They probably take out whatever, your tax rate is and everything. The first thing I would do is I'd put that shit in a bank. I'd put that shit in the bank, and I'd sit on it for a couple days. Because my personality and my mentality is like, okay, they gave me, let's say after taxes, they take out, let's say there's $15,000 left or whatever. I would literally be sitting on that $15,000 and I'd be like, okay, is this even real? Is this even real? Because I'd be partially kind of thinking that possibly it could be a scam or something, like if I spend any of that money and then the government comes to me and goes, Jeff, we heard you got $15,000 and that was an error. You were actually not supposed to have that $15,000. I would not want to spend that $15,000 because of the fact that if they came to me and be like, we want the $15,000 back, I'd be like, oh, cool. Here you go. Here you go. I'm not going to fuck with the government when it comes to money. So, yeah, I'd really be sitting on it because not so much because I would like to spend some of it. Yeah, who wouldn't? But I'd be sitting on it because also the fact I'm worried that if I spend any of it, right after I spend it, the government's going to come to me and go, Jeff, we made a mistake. That $15,000, you got to give it back, And I'm worried that if I spend it, it's going to lead me down a whole, slippery slope, But yeah, I mean... Am I mad at Phil for spending some of that money? Fuck no. That's his money. Even though he got it, especially during this time of questionable methods, because he was literally asking people to click on the ads. Even though he said, "Oh, I never did," he fucking did. That's his money. He as much as we don't want to admit it, he can spend it however he wants. I would, but like I said, I'd also be sitting on it because I'm afraid something would happen, but I think those who do not have it or never had a chance at it, I think that they look at it like, wow, $18,000. I think the people who never really had that chance to get that much money all at once, they react differently compared to people who would have, like, say, $18,000 and then get like a $20,000 and then $30,000 or whatever as they become popular for a little bit, They're used to getting that kind of money. Whereas somebody like me, who, granted, I have some money saved up, but a lot of my money is from work also. We who, we're basically just working, and everything, we get that money and we're going to treat that thing real, like gold until we're finally comfortable to start spending it. That's what's wrong with Phil Burnell. He did not respect what he actually had, and because of that, he went on a spending spree. Statues, paintings, quilts, you name it. A BMW, like holy shit. It really goes to show just those who don't have it compared to those who do,
We have detected invalid clicking activity on your videos. Therefore, as a result of said activity, we are suspending. We're not turning off. We're not completely removing. We are suspending your AdSense account.
Phil claims that this increase in click activity was due to viewers feeling bad for him, not considering that the average person does not know how YouTubers make their money. This was mysterious by intention, done to avoid users clicking on ads for the sake of helping out their favorite creator. And if viewer support via DSP's instruction could staunch his income, what could viewer hostility do?
I said, YouTube, with their AdSense program, literally tell everyone, don't talk to your fans about it. Don't tell them how AdSense works, because then you would incentivize them to do stuff and commit fraud. Basically, how much you guys participate with this channel, if you know what I mean.
See right there. Right there, that was literally him. He can try to play the whole, well, I didn't technically tell them to click on that. I just said interact. He knows what he fucking did. He knows what he fucking did. He was basically telling people, you know, subconsciously, hey, click on this ad. He is a business major. He knows how this shit works. If he was a smart motherfucker like he claims to be, he should have read that fucking binding contract that he signed when he got his AdSense. And I'm pretty sure one of the lines in that contract states, "Don't fucking tell your viewers to click the ads." How the fuck does he not realize that, ladies and gentlemen? How does he not realize that? He did this to himself, where he can claim, you know, via, you know, like everything that's ever been bad that's happened to him, he can always claim, oh, it was the detractors or anything. Ultimately, he is his own worst enemy. This is a good example of that. The detractors didn't get him to lose, get his AdSense suspended. It wasn't me. It wasn't Tevin. It wasn't Raw Phil. It wasn't, oh God, who's it? It wasn't Lightside Gaming or Lightside Bill. I don't think he's still around. It wasn't Memology. It was Phil. Phil got his AdSense taken away.
Just say, you know, how you can do that, but anyone who's accustomed to YouTube and how the partner channels work, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. That's where the fun comes from, so I just want to say thanks a lot to everyone. I hope to entertain you in the future. Please go to my partner channel, The King of Hate HD, and click on the ads that show up on the videos.
DSP Cold Beer was a channel that represented a growing disdain for DSP. This channel was falling under the umbrella of detractor content, or those that at this moment believe DSP was not exactly truthful or transparent with his intentions. And
I don't think he's ever been truthful. I always think that he's lying. I don't think that the guy is actually able to actually have an honest bone in his body.
Personally disagreed with. Additionally, though Phil positioned himself as tight with money, he was still able to purchase a few high-end collectibles here and there. The amount of statues and figurines were noticeably increasing. Perhaps it was because he felt secure, not in YouTube, but in Blip.tv. This was a website that was trying to compete with YouTube and was on the lookout for talent. DSP, a very large channel, was welcomed with open arms, and soon after joining was the second largest channel on Blip.tv and was on an exclusive, superior contract. Here he uploaded gameplay and vlogging videos alike while still uploading videos to YouTube as a fallback. That's how DSP entered 2011. His attention split between two competing websites. In January, a demo for the upcoming highly anticipated game, Dead Space 2, was released to help.
Okay, now, if I was a big name YouTuber, you know, I'm not. I have, let's see here, right now I have 467 subscribers because I'm actually currently looking at my my analytics. You know, I always like to look at, you know, numbers. You know, I'm interested with numbers. I don't know half the shit I'm looking at, but it looks fucking awesome, you know. I am fucking grateful for all 467 of those people. I am. I am very grateful. You guys are fucking awesome. If I was a big YouTuber, or if I was wanting to diversify, I think that's right term. Let's say Blip was still around. What I would do, now I'm not sure this would make sense. I would want, let's say, my main hobbies on YouTube is Unsolved Mysteries and Transformers. I'd like to say that I'm one of the most unique content creators because I deal with two intellectual properties that couldn't be the farthest from each other. You have a show about mysteries, murder, death, that sort of stuff, and then you got a cartoon, Transformers. You don't really see that on YouTube. You see Unsolved Mysteries fans or Transformers fans. You don't see a YouTube channel that is both YouTube or not, both Transformers and Unsolved Mysteries. You don't see that. So what I would do is if I wanted to branch out, if Blip TV was still around, I would use Blip TV for to try something new. To kind of borrow what Phil does or used to do, I would do like cooking or like a cooking show on Blip. And that's what I would do. I would not use Blip to host the same kind of content that I do over on YouTube. I would want something unique to Blip. That way that I'd grow my own audience. And then once my audience was large enough, I would start to throw out, little things saying, hey, everybody on YouTube, if you're interested in watching me cook, if you aren't already aware, I have a thing on Blip. And if, on Blip, hey guys, if you like Transformers and Unsolved Mysteries, hey, on YouTube, I'm doing this. But I would want to build up both groups first, if that makes any sense. Go on.
Build up hype. DSP was among those that downloaded it and among the few to record it.
Oh god, here we go.
Fun.
Then, he was the sole creator that made the most controversial video that was not even related to the already controversial gameplay.
By the way, I want to go on record and say Dead Space 2 is fucking awesome. I love Dead Space 2.
This is what happens when you let the Jews do whatever they want.
Jesus Christ, Phil, why would you say
You've let
that?
the Jews overrun space. And
Why would you say that?
The Greed has had the artifact turn everyone into necromorphs. So now I, the last remaining Nazi, must exterminate them. Hello, Jew.
Phil, role-playing as the last surviving space Nazi, did not translate well to his audience that quickly reported his anti-Semitic jokes.
Oh my god, Phil, why? Why? Seriously, I'm asking you, Phil. I mean, I'm not even trying to be a detractor when I say this. I'm literally asking you, Jeff to Phil. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I'll be honest, I am a very abrasive person. Granted, I have, friends, I have coworkers, and everything. But as you heard in my videos before, I am very opinionated. There are fucking lines even I won't cross. There are lines I will not cross. And that line that Phil crossed, that's a line I won't even fucking look at. What made you think that was oh god, Phil, my head. Why would you think this was a good idea? Seriously, I don't know what he was thinking. Did he actually think that this was going to be funny? That, it'd get back to YouTube and everybody like, hey, that guy, he made space Nazi jokes. What a fucking riot. Let me slap my leg. That's a leg slapper. That guy, he's up and coming. He's the next Andrew Dice Clay. Is that seriously what he was hoping? Because even a blind deaf man could literally look at you and say, not a good idea, dude. What fuck was running through? Does he not have that voice inside your head that says, hey yo, why am I sounding like Scott Hall? Hey yo, ole chico, that space Nazi gimmick that you're doing, you may want to stop that. Not cool, dude. That was the shittiest Scott Hall impression I've ever done. Holy shit. But seriously, what the fuck, Phil?
Like YouTube, Blip.tv sought to purge Phil and banned him from the platform. He was also, in essence,
your fault,
blacklisted from working with any existing creators on Blip. So for the third time in just 3 months, Phil had to restructure his job and figure out how to make money again.
You know, Hutch, sorry, but obviously you've proven that you can't be mature about it. I sure as hell didn't go to your page to try to fucking flame your fans, so enjoy your block. You're no longer allowed to talk on any of my fucking videos. And then here we go, oh look, it's Hutch, and he sends me this giant fucking message. I told you I was done, you don't listen, so you're blocked. I don't ever want to hear from you again.
Hutch, a gaming creator who worked for Machinima and held a lot of influence with the multi-channel network, had changed tones with DSP. Feeling sympathetic, and after a short back and forth through email, Hutch was able to pull some strings and get his channel partnered again. Not with
See, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. I don't know why Hutch did that. I don't know why he felt he was needed. You know, like why he was feeling sympathy for Phil. Phil was shitting on the guy. Most logically, you would think that somebody, if somebody shits on you, the last thing you're going to want to do is help that person. That's the way I am. That's the way I am. You know, if somebody goes, hey, Jeff, you're a fat fuck. Well, number one, I already know that. But you think I'm actually going to be like, well, if I had the stroke, basically. The guy who just said I'm a fat fuck, that I'm a waste of life, that if Thanos snapped his fingers, I would disappear, nobody would care. Do you think I would actually want to help that person if that person goes, oh, gee whiz, I can't believe this space Nazi joke got me banned. I can't believe that. Do you think I would actually want to help that person? I don't know. I don't understand what Hutch's what his logic was behind this.
YouTube directly, but through Machinima as the third party, therefore circumventing Phil's own suspended AdSense account. This was an increasing strategy where YouTube could negate its copyright fears by placing the responsibility on multi-channel networks like Machinima. In turn, they would be rewarded by reaping a portion of the ad revenue. So for the first time ever on YouTube, all of Phil's content could be monetized. In the background, there was one issue, or faction, Phil could not shake. Not even a day after getting partnered with Machinima, the prominent detractor channel, DSP Cult Leader, uploaded a video from the year prior where Phil denounced Machinima.
You know, they're nice enough to go on my partner channel and watch those videos and click the ads and things like that, so all I have to really say is fuck you, Machinima.
Mostly unfazed by these counter-narratives, Phil continued to upload copious amounts of now monetized content with newfound confidence.
Yeah, if you can believe it, I'm living the dream, and you can only go up from here.
For a while, this was the case. In May of 2011, he had a $1,600 computer built by the same fans that created and were running his website. Phil was still going to fighting game events, though not as frequently, and if not clear already, he was making a decent amount of money. In the course of 8 months, Phil was cluttering all facets of his condo with collectibles or equally unessential items. His 2011 condo tour showcased how much his apartment had changed. On the walls, counters, even the floor, it was difficult to find a square foot of clear space.
Okay, I can, like I said, I can understand the guy wanting to spend money, but he should have been more careful. He should have been more careful, ladies and gentlemen. Buying a computer, I can understand buying a computer, it's for the business. But literally, did he really need all the fucking pictures, all the statues? Like really, did he really need all that? And the answer is no. The answer is no. YouTube, any kind of content creation business, even I understand that, even though I'm not partnered or anything, or whatever the correct term is. Your pay. Oh, hold on, I want to pause this. Hold on. Your pay, it comes in waves. If you have a lot of viewers, your pay is up. If you don't have a lot of viewers, your pay is down. And Phil, he did not understand that. He saw the initial checks that were coming into him, and the first thing he thought was spend, paintings, statues, useless fucking shit that he no longer even has. All of that money is gone. All that money is gone. Now, the one thing I want to stop with this is, or pause this, is because apparently I did not realize it until I saw this documentary earlier today. That picture is actually someone's breast that they actually used to paint this. A woman used her breast to paint this. Okay, hold on. Let's unmute it.
Breasts, and it's custom artwork that she makes, and she does all kinds of different paintings and such. And I was actually
hold on. Let's rewind it just a little bit.
Created
Okay,
with gamer memorabilia and other items Phil took interest in.
This artwork is actually painted completely with her breasts, and it's custom artwork that she makes, and she does all kinds of different paintings and such. And I was actually thinking, this is so nice, it's so artistic looking, that if I do get an office next year, like I had talked about doing, that I may...
Okay, so yeah, where the fuck did he find this woman at? How did he? Can I borrow her? Can I get her business card? I really should take a look at that. You know, like breast paint artist.
spots in the bedroom or whatever, but at this... wow, at this point, it's pretty much all filled up.
Thank you,
what
Phil.
I'd like to do is
I
get the
just
hell
wanted
out
to
of here
have
and
some of
get
that
us,
in my
like I said,
ear.
get an
Thanks, Phil.
office where I can do a lot of my filming, where I can do my uploading, and not have to worry about my modem going down here, having a business class internet, having a place where I could do better filming. And I sure as hell, I'm not sure that that's ever going to happen.
As much as he collected, there was a space he felt was consistently vacant. He was lacking a significant other. Quote, now for my favorite part of the story. My sweet waffle Philip. I met him in November 2011 online, YouTube actually, while he was and currently is making video game playthroughs. We're still going strong despite some hurdles. The biggest one is other people. We are a May-December romance. He's 11 years older, but it makes our bonds even stronger. He is so supportive of my crafty ways, even if he doesn't understand half of it. We're even planning and taking steps to opening our own online bath beauty business. But moving in together comes first, because he lives in Connecticut. Told you we have hurdles, but that's all for now. I'm sure everyone will get to know me well soon enough. I can't wait to learn and share and confide in what seems like such great people. Smiley face. Unquote. That was from a future post created by Leanna, or Panda Lee as she was going as online. Leanna met Phil through the now defunct YouTube message.
Okay, now this is actually what I was wanting to talk about. Just to, I'm not going to go back into details. I will later on, possibly. But the reason I became a detractor is basically I reached out to Phil via the messenger, YouTube messenger. And, you know, instead of being polite, you know, like, hey, you know, thanks for the suggestion, but yeah, I'm going to try it this way. And I would have been like, cool. He was very rude and basically told me to kill myself. And it was via this same private message system that is no longer used. So if you wonder why it is that people become detractors, at least for me, it's because the person who I thought was a cool content creator back in, you know, the early 2000s, he literally told me to go kill myself.
System as a fan, only for Phil to escalate the relationship by providing her with his more private email. By February of 2012, they had become a couple, and Phil saw it fit to introduce her to his audience on Valentine's Day.
Hello everyone, darksydephil here, and with me today is my beautiful girlfriend, Leanna, who also is known as Panda Lee on YouTube.
Quote, a special note, Panda Lee is not Asian. That is all, unquote. This was an annotation found on the video, a request likely by Panda Lee to avoid confusion of her race. It is likely her because she also made sure to clear this up in an interview held through a Twisted Metal lobby.
Some guy on the reveal video commented that I look like an old Asian woman, so...
Yeah, they're all immature. Don't pay attention to DSP fans. They're fucking idiots. A lot of them are fucking idiots.
If they ever need a really awkward Asian-looking non-Asian chick...
Yeah, I guess so.
What the fuck am I looking at here? I can't even tell. Is this like a loading screen?
That's what I want to know. I've never met an Asian with green eyes.
Neither have I. So,
yeah, I have green eyes. Very rare, so...
What games do you
that
like?
Would give away.
Okay, seriously, what the fuck am I looking at? Yeah, I know that she's talking to somebody. But were they waiting for a party to form or something?
About the 11-year age gap, with Phil being 29 years old and Panda Lee being 18, rumors spread that they began dating when she was underage, but these are unsubstantiated and no evidence of such has ever been brought forward. That cannot be said.
It doesn't really take that much, you know, effort to do the math, you know? It's at least she was 17. Who knows how long she was talking to the guy before that, though.
Be as white as anything. Don't fucking get an apartment, because you know why? You know why it's a white neighborhood? Because the white people live in the houses around it. The police is here.
What's with this racist shit?
Yep, I called the police. You know why? Because 3 buildings away, I had all these windows and doors closed, but I could hear this Latin CD perfectly that if I knew Spanish enough, I could probably translate it for you.
Panda Lee would sometimes do playthroughs with DSP and John Rambo. Still, DSP's best friend had a large catalog of playthroughs with Phil and was a favorite of the channel. Panda Lee, being a newcomer and with her being argumentative with Rambo, meant she was making a bad impression.
I was just being difficult. Alright, well anyway.
Panda Lee was a fair match for Phil because she had similar reasoning and an argumentative personality that Phil often portrayed in his videos. As for his videos, DSP peaked in late 2011. Now, 2012, the trend was downward, and instead of getting a capture card to improve the quality of his videos, he sought experimentation elsewhere.
It's okay to experiment. It's okay to experiment, but it's like he was actively trying to not get a fucking capture card. And yeah, his whole argument was, well, I would need to narrate and I'd have to edit. That's part of the job, dude. You don't... I think he actually believed that he could ride this train of him releasing 10-minute clips using a shitty digital camera for eternity and just make bank off of it. And it does not fucking work like that. You have to constantly evolve. Even I understand that, you know, like, I just don't understand how he can be so fucking pig-headed. Yeah, like, really. Well, hopefully, if this newfound popularity that this renaissance that he's been blowing smoke up his ass with, if it actually turns out to be true, maybe he'll actually start to evolve and do more better positive things.
Project 7 was Phil and Friends' answer to the higher quality of videos found on YouTube. A summary of the plot is that Phil's gaming talent was stolen and that he has to travel through 7 gaming worlds to find and reclaim it. The stars were Phil, his best friend John Rambo, and their mutual friend Howard, which Phil claims was more so just John Rambo's friend. In charge of the editing, which was the heavy lifting, was more friends of John Rambo known by their channel Respect the Pact. They offered their assistance with the project for the sole purpose of a shoutout, which they hope will launch their YouTube career.
Hello, I'm John, and I'm joined by Howard. Woohoo! So Project 7 was a lot of work for them. I don't think it was much work for us, despite what Phil would talk about how hard the day was. It's such a
No,
long
it wasn't.
day.
It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard for us. It was hard for them.
Yeah, I mean, it was one day of filming.
Yeah.
Maybe 7 hours.
Respect the Pact put in a tremendous amount of work to edit the project that only made it to episode 4 because one of the members had a child on the way and the shoutouts that they got from the project did virtually nothing for their own personal channel. There was also the fact that Project 7 was practically a failure. The entire 4 episodes, when adding up the views, did not even surpass 1 million. It was far more lucrative for DSP to continue pumping out low-quality, effortless gameplay videos that he had even gotten a raise for mid-2012. Not only was he getting a set $2 per 1,000 views, sometimes he would get a bonus simply because of the size of his channel. The rest of the crew still desired to continue making these, and John Rambo put forth the idea that if DSP offered Respect the Pact money, then they would have a reason to stay.
Then you have a number, and then split it the 5 ways.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest and say this right now. The moment that John Rambo and Howard even suggested to Phil, hey Phil, these guys are literally like they're busting their ass to try to make your dream come true. You may want to kick them their way some money. The minute that they even suggested that, internally Phil was like, ha 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 ha, ha, motherfucker, you think I'm gonna give up my money? You would have better luck. You would have better luck Phil spitting on you just to say, hey, Phil, can you spit on me? Instead of, hey, Phil, I'm poor, can I have a couple cents? Phil does not part ways with his money. He doesn't. The only time he does is for frivolous shit or something he needs to have, you know, after, you know, everything else is no longer really feasible. The fact that it was before they even finished asking him, he already had the auto answer determined. Like, nope, not giving them money. They can go fuck off. We agree that, you know, they would do it for a shout out. I gave them their half-ass shout out. You want me to give them money? Oh, fuck you. They're not getting shit. That's what was probably running in his mind.
And throw them the cash.
Yep.
And offer that to them. There's no guarantee that they're gonna continue with the series, but hey man, at least try.
Phil did not do so. He even lied to John Rambo and Howard and said that he did offer them money, only for them to ask to respect the past.
Okay, and that is it. That's the first hour. Like I said, I have this broken into three parts. Hold on, I'm gonna switch back over to this. Or not 3 parts. I have it broken into. Hold on. Let's see here. Where is? Hold on. Let's see here. There he goes. I have this broken into like 4 parts. The first 3 parts are 1 hour each. The fourth and final part, I think, is like 40 minutes. And I just don't have the time to really sit here today and watch the whole thing because of the fact I returned to work after Labor Day, you know. So, yeah, so I'm going to try to pump out another part sometime this week. Hopefully it'll be part 2. And I'm you know, aiming for at least hopefully Wednesday, Thursday-ish, you know. But yeah, so that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to get this first part out and give you my thoughts, even though it doesn't really matter that much. You know, it's just I learned a lot when I first watched this about his the fighting community. I did not realize what a toxic, cowardly person he was. He actually paid off somebody $10 to not get his face beaten, and then he tried to do this fucking, you know, hey, let's do a DX crotch chop. That's so fucking cool. That's after he was shit talking the guy all the time, you know. But a lot of the other stuff after that, you know, everything independently, I'm already aware of, you know. But yeah, so it's a nice little romp down his history lane, I guess you could, or memory lane, or whatever, you know. But yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna try to get the next part out pretty soon. As always, if you like what you watch, wait, hold on. Oh, okay. As always, if you liked what you watched, feel free to click that subscribe button, the like button, you know what to do, and I will see you next time. My name is Jeff, aka GCurse, wishing you all a great day, and stay safe, everybody. Peace out.